and we deliver that to MPs to say, guys, you need to step in. You need to actually properly fund the climate mitigation so that our sport, the thing that kind of we all love, can keep going, especially at the grassroots levels.
Football, sliced and diced with Sedgemoor FM and Apex Soccer Group.
Before we get into talking about today's topic, let me just give you a quick invitation. If you are a fan of a local club or a player, or even a club official, or in any way involved in local grassroots football, then you'll want to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to get notified of all our latest uploads, as and when they drop. On this channel, you'll also get some local interest stories, the occasional behind the scene, glimpses into our studio at Sedgemoor FM,
Don't you take my Yorkshire pudding
and of course, the occasional music related video too.
from me.
Hello there everyone, hi, welcome to another sliced and diced episode. Slightly different today. As you can see, we have one big screen and one little screen, as opposed to us all sat in the studio on the sofas. But I am delighted to be joined by Paul Goodenough from the Rewilding. How are you, Paul? You good?
I'm very, very well, thank you, Paul. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. And for those that don't know, Paul joined myself and a lot of the crew from Taunton Town a month or so back for a launch of the Save Our Grassroots campaign, which really got us all thinking. And I've been back to Taunton a couple of times since then, and people are still talking about you and what you were doing and why you were doing it. So look, for those that weren't there and those that didn't have the pleasure to talk to you on the day, tell us a bit more about the Save Our Grassroots campaign.
Sure, and just to warn everyone, it's not the greatest bit of news, but you're probably expecting it. So my thing is all around how the world's going to change, how the environment's going to change. And unfortunately, within the next 25 years, 1 in 4 professional football clubs is going to be either partially or completely flooded. And of course, as you go down the football pyramid, there's less money and it happens earlier. So what Save Our Grassroots is a collection of fun events where we raise awareness about the grounds that are in danger. And then we talk to local people and footballers and fans and all sorts of people. And we take how much they care, how much passion they have, and we deliver that to MPs to say, guys, you need to step in. You need to actually properly fund the climate mitigation so that our sport, the thing that kind of we all love, can keep going, especially at the grassroots levels.
Without a shadow of doubt, and that's a fantastic piece of work that you're doing there. And look, we're of football, but I guess it is going to impact cricket and rugby and motorsport venues and pretty much anything that is on our earth is going to be affected to some extent.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Britain, of course, we've got a really rich tradition of loving our green spaces, whether you love football or not, whether you love rugby or hockey or gymnastics. Some part of us is kind of inherently in our nature to want to be outside, whether that's walking with the kids or the dogs, or feeding the ducks. It's all at risk. And we could be, the people being born now could be the very last children to be able to play in these green areas unless we do something. And that's, I don't know how you guys all feel back there who are watching this, but I just can't let that happen. You know, I can't.
It's quite frightening, really, isn't it, when you think about it like that? As you just said, is this generation that's being created now,
yep,
the last generation that's going to be able to really enjoy the green spaces for whatever they choose to enjoy them for, and that is a frightening thought.
But there's a way out of it, mate. And that's the wonderful news. There is things you can do. So if you've got, for example, rivers around, a lot of this is flooding. It's either flooding or too much sun, which bakes the ground. The baking of the ground is harder, but the flooding's actually, there are things in place. If you start putting beavers in the local rivers, they create dams, which basically acts to stop over flooding, which stops basically all the water levels rising. You can also do things like planting lots of trees around floodplains. They will naturally absorb a lot of the water. just doing that, like getting flowers and plants and shrubs and animals around these green places, will make a massive difference. And also, it just looks nicer, and everyone loves seeing animals. So it's a really cost-effective, easy win-win that also cleans our air as well. So there are answers. So if we can get the government to basically invest in it, we can make a pretty quick turnaround, because these things don't take long to do the rewilding projects.
No, that's amazing. I think that our listeners are going to be hearing this and thinking, what can they do to help? And like you said, there were some really easy things there around sort of planting trees and that sort of stuff that is going to make a huge difference. But before, you mentioned that you do various stuff to sort of raise the awareness. Now, I know through the launch of the Save Our Grassroots campaign, you did some pretty crazy stuff, some of which you knew you were going to be doing, and some of it was a bit of a shock. Like a half marathon that just sort of happened. But what sort of things did you do? It was 11 days of launch. What sort of things did you do in that window?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of us working on it. But me personally, I had to run the Cardiff Half Marathon nearly twice. Because I won't go into the whole reasons, but basically we were supposed to get 2 runners, myself and Kate, and then you had one number. And ITV were covering it, so I had to kind of run for the footage and then go back and then run again. So I was fairly knackered after that. My basically my feet felt like they were like I belonged to Kieran Dyer or something. It felt like I was made out of lollipop sticks. Then we did a whole collection of stuff. We went to Taunton, as you said. We obviously chatted to the crowd at half time. We got Gideon Amos along. We also did events up in Glasgow. We did events in Willesden. We did stuff in various different smaller pitches as well. But the big one, or the fun one, the one I think you're alluding to, was it was down at Hackney Marshes. So Paul Merson joined us along with 8 Olympians and people from rugby, cricket, all sorts of stuff. And then environmental CEOs and local kids and local people are trying to help, chucked them all on a pitch for an absolute chaotic game of football in Wellies. Yeah. It was a lot more fun than actually even I hoped it could be. It was brilliant.
And there was plenty of photos, plenty of footage, and it did look great fun. I must admit, I thought I'd never see the day that football we played in Wellies. But look, we joke about it, but at the end of the day, if it carries on, then playing in Wellies is going to be the bit that we do, and it's either that or no football. It's look, I think that's amazing, and it said. So, what else have you got lined up? What else have you got to promote this Save Our Grassroots, and how can our listeners get involved?
Well, the best thing listeners could do if they wanted to help is just drop me a line. Honestly, just drop me a line. My DMs on social media are always open. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on X, I'm on Facebook, I'm on everything. It's just look for Paul Goodenough and I'll look a bit like this. And just drop me a message.
Or similar, just without the sore jaw. Hopefully soon, yeah.
Yeah, I think I actually hurt the jaw. Actually, I was thinking about it when you asked. I actually think I hurt my jaw trying to tackle Jamie Farndale, the rugby player. And I thought it'd be hilarious to, in a football game, to try and rugby tackle a rugby player. It was a funny idea.
Clearly, it didn't work, and it clearly isn't benefiting you now. So
no. But if anyone wants to put me a message, what I'll do is I'll happily say, look, how much time have you got? How much money have you got? How much kind of do you want to put into this? And I can just say, well, actually, if you've got no money, no time, no worries. Just go and literally like these things, because that then sends a message that we can use. Okay, you've got a little bit of time. Great. Maybe you'll record a little video that we can send to your MP. See if we can actually shift their opinion and actually get them to invest some money in this. Okay, you haven't got any time, but you've got a bit of cash. Well, there's these great charities around you that are looking to do wildflower planting or tree planting or getting beavers into the local area. Give them 10, 20 quid. So I'll basically act as the bridge to help you do some good if you want to, or if not, just be nice to hear from you.
No, look, most definitely. And I think we'll stick all the links up to some of your socials and bits and pieces, so that when you're watching, just click on the links, guys. Get in touch with Paul. As he said, £1, 1 minute, an hour, £1,000, whatever you can do is going to make a difference, however big or small. So please do your bit. Look, Paul, before I let you go, I'm not going to avoid the question any longer, but that collection in the background is just unreal. Look,
do you want me to get out of the way?
It's ridiculous. It's just an amazing amount of stuff. Star Wars, Marvel, X-Men, the lot.
Yeah, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Centurions, Mask, WWF figures, or WWE figures they are now. Yeah, there's all sorts. In my defense, slight defense, one, I absolutely love them. So just to be super clear, I absolutely love them. But in my slight defense, I've worked on quite a few of them, either written for them or designed some toys, or I've got some sort of connection, like a friend was on a film or a friend was on a TV show. So I've got a little toy to remind me. So in my slight defense, there is a tiny element of professionalism in there.
Okay, tiny, and they obviously never get played with. They
do. Sound effects and all.
I was gonna, I was gonna say that TIE fighter has seen some action.
Yeah. That has actually. That's a 1980s one, so it's seen quite a lot of action. It's been through many a battle. I'm surprised it's still flying.
I got rid of a lot of my Star Wars stuff years and years ago and regret it to the day, but there's probably still figures buried under my mum and dad's garden that will be found at some point in the future, I'm sure.
You're like the Harold Shipman of Star Wars, are you?
I know, but as a kid you just want to play with them. You don't think about it. And look, it's same with football memorabilia and everything. You wear your shirts, you play with your toys, you don't think about what their value is going to be in 10, 20, 30 years time. But no, look, Paul, I'm going to let you crack on with your day. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for showing everyone your amazing collection as well. But more importantly, thank you for talking to us about the Save Our Grassroots campaign and all the hard work you're doing.
And yeah, just want to say a massive thank you to everyone listening as well, and everyone who's been so incredibly helpful across the campaign. So just if you guys didn't know, we've managed to get 191 million people reached with the campaign, which is just bonkers. And I promise you, if you want to help, I will make sure that actually you get something tangibly good out of this. Thanks so much.
Amazing. Guys, check Paul out. Check out the Save Our Grassroots campaign. The Rewriting Earth is the bigger project behind it. Keep doing what you're doing, Paul. Big shout out to your team as well. And we will catch up again very soon.
Cheers, buddy. Great to talk to you.
Cool.